following episode of Arden's Garden is underwritten in part by Chipotle Fresh Mexican Grill, gourmet burritos and tacos, food with integrity. 500 Del Monte Center, Monterey. Open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week.
Good evening. Welcome, friends. Thank you so much for coming out to Arden's Garden. It's lovely to have you here this evening. And welcome to all of you watching at home. We appreciate you being here. For those of you who have seen this gentleman before, you know that you're in for a delightful treat. Would you please give a very warm welcome to Beechwood recording artist James Lee Stanley.
Thank you.
When you're lost in the rain in Juarez, it's Easter time too. When gravity fails you and negativity won't see you through, don't you put on any airs when you're down on Memorial Avenue. They got some hungry women there, they'll really make a mess out of you. You see St. Annie, please tell her thanks a lot. Cannot move my fingers, they're all in a knot. And I don't have the strength left to get up, take another shot. And my best friend, the doctor, won't even tell me. Tell me what it is I got. Sweet Melinda, the peasants call her the goddess of gloom. She speaks good English, she invites you up into her room. And you're so kind and careful not to go to her too soon. 'Cause she'll take your voice, she'll leave you. She'll leave you howling at the moon. Up on that Hollywood Hills, fortune or fame. You must choose one or the other, though neither ought to be what they claim. And if you're looking to get silly, you better go back to where you came. Because the cops don't need you, and men they expect the same. All the authorities stand around and boast how they blackmail the sergeant at arms into leaving his post, picking up angels who just arrived here from the coast, who look so fine at first and left, looking just like it goes. I started out on Burgundy, but I soon hit the harder stuff. Everybody said, we'll stand beside you, man, when the game gets rough. But the joke was on me, there was nobody even there to bluff. I'm going back to New York City, back to New York City. I'm going back to New York City. I do believe I've had about enough. Thank you. And in our stolen season, your feet won't touch the ground. It's a Ferris wheel that's spinning hearts and minds around. And the heights will make you dizzy and take your breath away. In our secret stolen season, there is just a day. But when you're lost in loving, time will not stand still. Each hour seems a second, each shadow touch a thrill. And each kiss will leave us breathless as our two hearts beat as one. In our secret stolen season, in the shadows of the sun. And in our stolen season, a world within a world. It's a simple act of love between a boy and girl. No yesterdays can find us, and tomorrows don't exist. In our secret stolen season, in the space between what is and might have been. But all too soon it's over, and the world spins back in place. From our secret stolen season, from our state of grace. La 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 la. La, la, la. And into every day and night, some magic weaves its spell. It's a secret stolen season, and we cannot tell if there's a way of knowing what is lost or what is gained from our secret stolen season, where our hearts la 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 la. La Thank you. You're a good bunch. Thanks. Thank you very much. As you know, my name is James Lee Stanley, and I'm delighted that Arden was kind enough to invite me to come here. I haven't actually played Monterey in a long, long time. I think I played here with Leo Kotke over at the Convention Center. Also maybe with Phoebe Snow, but that was years and years ago. Been a long time. The first song I sang tonight was a song called, what was it called? Oh, Just Like Tom Thumb's Blues. None of those words are in the song, so it's difficult to remember the title. It was a song written by Bob Dylan. I predict big things for Bob. Love the song, sing it every single day. It's just a treat to... I was going to write it myself, but it was the 60s, and I guess I was having too much fun. Missed it. Bob got it. After that, I sang a song called Stolen Season, which was inspired by a naked Gwyneth Paltrow. Remarkably alluring woman for one so slender, you know. I tend to lean more towards the Rubenesque women, but there was a movie called Shakespeare in Love that she was in, and in the film she plays this young woman betrothed to an older gentleman, and they're trying to represent that as being repugnant. I didn't see their point myself, but somehow or another this union was frowned upon by the romantic people that wrote the script, and so they put it together with Will Shakespeare, and they have this illicit affair, you see. And there's this one scene where she's actually lying there naked with Joseph Fiennes, and I'm sorry, I drift off whenever I think about this. And she's looking really good, you know, and she leans up and she touches his cheek and she says, "This is our stolen season." And I thought, wow, what a good line, you know, our stolen season, you know, because if you're sleeping around, you know, you're just kind of cheap, you know, but if you're having a stolen season, well, it was an avalanche of poetry, you know what I mean? It was something you couldn't deny. It was bigger than both of us. It wasn't my fault, honey. It was a stolen season. Mother, you can't deny poetry? How long is life that you can deny poetry? Of course not. So I turned to my wife and I said, I think there might be a song in there somewhere. And so I wrote that one, Stolen Season. This is a tune that was inspired... on September the 11th, I was driving into Washington, D.C. to sing on a friend's album. Of course, I couldn't get in because of the attacks. And I had a show on the 11th in Baltimore. And so I went to a hotel that I could, you know, far enough out of town to where they would let me in. And I wrote this tune, which I called Last Day of Summer, and I dedicated it to September the 10th, because I think that was a real line of demarcation. We were one people on September the 10th. We were another people on September the 11th. And even now, when I look at a sky and a plane crossing a skyline, it's like a retina burn. I'm never going to forget that, and none of us will. So I wanted to sing a song about a more innocent time. And it turns out that, believe it or not, September the 10th was a more innocent time. So I tried to fill the song with benign images of nature and, you know, make it a tribute to that lost innocence. Last day of summer, like a ship sails away, and then listen to the wind. You'd think summer never come again. Last day of summer sails away. Last day of summer, golden eastern sky streaked with gray. Every other leaf is gone, just this one last leaf is hanging on. Then the last leaf of summer, the last leaf of summer blows away, blows away. The sun is safe on the horizon. Long shadows falling, now it's late afternoon. The daily news, they're at my feet, blowing careless down September Street. Then the long shadows stealing, the last day of summer gone too soon. Gone too soon. The sun is safe on the horizon, so far away, safe on the horizon, so far away, so far, so far away. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Here's a song that I put on my second album back in 1973. I was very young at the time. I was a zygote. Overhead lighting. The bane of the thin-haired man. We hate those things. Because, you know, when you start losing your hair, which is a travesty as far as I'm concerned, your body has the unmitigated gall to make your skull shiny. So I mean, it's, you know, I mean, you'd think that at least your skin could do is be dull. You know what I mean? But no, it's got to, hey, look at me, I'm coming through. I'm coming, you know. I hate it. I'm telling you. It's slow beat. I won't go into it. I haven't got enough time. But I'm doing a show on Tuesday night at Henfling's in Ben Lomond. It'll be a 2-hour concert, and I will be going into my diatribes if you'd like to come down and take advantage of that. In the meantime, this is a tune inspired by the spontaneous joy of the 60s. It's called Natural Sugar. Natural sugar, it sure is sweet. It keeps me happy, keeps me off the street. A natural sugar, mighty fine. I only use the natural kind. We're gonna get happy. We'll feel good. We're gonna get happy. Natural sugar, sugar, make me feel so good. Make me feel so good. A natural sugar, natural high. All I need to get me by is a natural me. It's natural she. It's natural goodness. You know it's good as good can be. Ooh, we're gonna get happy. We'll feel good. Ooh, we're gonna get happy. Natural sugar, sugar, make me feel so good. Make me feel so good. Natural sugar, all I need, straighten out my head. Natural sugar, even keep me warm at night in bed. Oh, yes, you will. It's natural. I like bread and butter. I like toast and jam. And that's what baby feeds me. She's a vegetarian. Oh, that's right, we're healthy and happy. Oh, we'll feel good. Ooh, we're gonna get happy. Natural sugar, sugar, make me feel so good. Make me feel so good. Make me feel so good. You make me feel so. It make me feel so good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Arden, did you want to start the Q&A now? Let's wait a little while, okay. Well, all right, then we're going to wait a little while. I used to live here in Monterey. I went to the Defense Language Institute, studied Chinese, and ended up living here for about 2.5 years and working in the liaison office, and had a little place down in the Carmel Highlands. Evidently, the Reynolds aluminum heiress had a chalet dismantled in Norway and brought over here and then reassembled, and then never stayed in it. And I somehow found it, and for $75 a month. And I had to turn on the sprinklers twice a week because they didn't have timers back then. I lived in this chalet up in the Carmel Highlands. It was a grand time to be 21, folks, let me tell you. And I tended bar over at Flora's on Cannery Row. It was part of a place called The Warehouse, if you remember that, those dismal pizzas. And Dick O'Kane. I tended bar there for a year. I had a grand time. I loved Monterey. It was fun today. I came in today and went to some little cafe, the Karma Cafe. That's where I went to. You know that place? There's no menus. You just get what you deserve. You haven't? Isn't that awful? Thank you for that. There's a rim shot in the audience somewhere right now. Okay. So I'll play it. Oh, I was going to show you my boxes. I have a lot of really fun boxes here. You've already heard the choruser. Can you hear the difference between that and this? Perhaps not. How about this? I love that one. When I first got that box, I put it on every song. That's a good one. And I have an octave box here. Yeah, so it goes way down there. And a phase shifter. Makes that kind of more thing, which I like a lot. But my favorite new toy is this one, which I'll show you right now. So you can see that I can play with that for days. So what I try to do is to do at least half of my set in acoustic fashion for people who are, purists and want to hear the acoustic guitar as it's supposed to be played. But then for the other half, I like to mess with those things. I'll do one now. Rolling on old Kentucky bluegrass. E-town is just a memory. Louisville looms on the horizon, but today's about as far as I can see. And it makes you wonder, is that thunder you hear, or just the sound of one heart falling, like a diamond cracks the sky and disappears? Got a letter in my pocket I'll be sending, just as soon as I believe the words I wrote. Seems that nothing's ever really what it ought to be. Just living day by 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 road. It makes you wonder, is that thunder you hear, or just the sound of one heart falling into the shoals where the souls disappear, like a diamond cracks the sky and disappears? What's that siren song that whispers in your ear? Cannot push the story too much farther. Black ice and mountains lie ahead. Sirens and red lights flash behind me. Life's the line of least resistance, someone said. The line of least resistance, someone said. disappear. What's that siren song that whispers in your ear? Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's a signal that it's time
That's
for
a
the
clue.
audience to ask you some questions. If you have a question for James, please raise your hand and wait till I come over to you with the microphone. That way we can be sure to get you on tape. Nobody's ready to start off? Oh, we've got one right here in the front.
Thank you, James. It's delightful. You make it seem so effortless. Does the muse elude you, or is it easy for you to write these songs? They tell such great stories.
No, I actually.
Do you struggle?
Yeah, I have reams and notebooks full of bad lyrics.
But they make it seem so smooth when you put it together. It's wonderful to hear.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
noticing. By God. No, I do. I work a long time on every song. That last day of summer, I rewrite it about every 2 or 3 weeks. You know, because I really want it to be just right. Yeah, right. I mean, I already recorded it, so it's silly to keep writing it, but I do.
We got
I think
another
Lori had a
question here.
Oh, yes.
How long do you practice every day?
I do about 2 hours every day. And I try to do it with a drum machine as well, because what music is a sort of an imposition of order on chaos. The chaos being the universe, and time gives you, the more you know about time, because there's not only 1, 2, 3, 4, but there's the front of 1, there's the back of 1. So where you push the beat, it gets to be really fun when you have impeccable time, which I don't have yet. So I keep working on it. I recommend it. I didn't even start practicing until a couple of years ago.
Wanted to say that it sounds really good to listen to your use of the bass strings. I have to
I
say
couldn't afford
that,
a bass player, so I...
yeah. Well, you brought one, a good one. It's unusual. It's unusual. Most of us this age have been listening to guitar for a long time, so I compliment you on the lower
thanks.
strings and
You know,
how
I get
how
tired
lively
of
they
that.
are.
You know, when people just strum, that's the way I started playing too, but I really like to, at this stage of my life, I'm trying to make orchestrations of all my songs. So I appreciate the fact that you noticed that I'm actually working on it. Thanks. Lori has one, I think, right there with her hand raised. That's strange, I don't know. I didn't hear that.
Thank you. It's great to see you on the Central Coast. I wondered what happened to your lovely and talented sister and what she's up to.
Actually, my sister Pamela Stanley, she went on to record a song called Coming Out of Hiding that I wrote that was top 5 for the year. Made her quite wealthy there for a while, but she got divorced and now she's like the rest of us. And I did write the song, so I mean, I get money in the mail from that periodically. And after that, she had a couple of other hits. And recently I wrote a musical, which I was going to call Sex and the Single Mom until there was a movie on TV about 3 weeks ago with that very title, and I thought, well, I mean, you can't copyright titles, but I thought I would come up with another title now that that's been TVized. But Pamela stars in it. It's a wonderful musical about a woman raising a teenager who ends up raising a child. And it's called, I don't know what it's called, but right now, Sex and the Single Mom. And it'll be out this year, actually. So get on the mailing list, and I promise to never stop telling you what I'm doing for the rest of my... Yeah, and if you ever see Deborah White, please tell her I was looking for her. Is that it?
I don't know. Is that it? Anybody else? That's it. Let's bring the lights down and listen to you play some more.
Okay. A couple of years ago, Tom Robbins invited me to go down to Cuba. And it was 1975, actually. I was living here in Santa Cruz at the time. And Tom Robbins is an author, wrote Even Cowgirls Get the Blues. And so Tom and I went down to Cuba for several weeks and had a grand time. The people of Cuba were wonderful. But we did discover that communism sucked. We were sort of surprised, you know, because we felt that the government was sort of cavalier with the truth. And it turns out that in this one instance, they were right on the money. It just, I think that when you read about communism, the idea where we all work an equal amount and we all share in everything and we all have a piece of the pie, it sounds fantastic. I like that idea. But then you get people involved, and it, you know, and it kind of gets twisted. So we ended up coming back to America, and I'm telling you, we were some patriotic dudes when we got home. You know, we were licking the tarmac when we got back to America. You know, we just loved it here. I mean, I was so patriotic, I could have been George W. himself. You know, except of course, I believe in the Constitution. So. So I was going to write a song about my adventures in deepest, darkest Cuba, but I never did. However, my friend Michael Smith in Chicago started this song, and as soon as I heard it, I realized that was the song I was going to write. I mean, I recognized it right off the bat and decided I would do it myself. I would insinuate myself into his song, which I have done. This is called Three Monkeys. So hot here, wind forgets to blow. Only the heat wave move in the streets below. In haze I know the wind gets lost at sea, and where it goes is a mist of. And it's dangerously hot in this country. The strangers listening on the phone, I think they're on to us. And it could blow up in our faces. You never know who you can trust. Down in the land of sugarcane, waiting on a sight of rain. Mission confidential, see no, hear no, speak no, you know. Silence is the art of keeping three monkeys in your heart. Three monkeys in your heart. It's so hot here, black sand burns like coal. Choose between your body and your soul. Raindrops sizzle and pop in the dusty road. Messages, secret codes, and there are all kinds of heat in this country. And they got soldiers in the streets and urgent telegrams, and people fall in love a lot, 'cause it's dangerous, it's hard on the land. Down in the land waiting on a sighting ring. Mission confidential, see no, hear no, speak no, you know. Silence is the art of keeping 3 monkeys in your heart. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Strictly need to know. It's coded midnight tango, and it's dangerous and it's hot and it's down in the land of sugarcane, waiting on a sight of rain. Mission confidential, see no, hear no, speak no, you know. Silence is the art of keeping 3 monkeys in your heart in the land of sugarcane, waiting on a sight of rain. Vision confidential, see no, hear no, speak no, you know. Silence is the art of keeping 3 monkeys, 3 monkeys in your heart. See no, hear no, speak no evil. See no, hear no, speak no evil. Thank you. Thank you. I'm reading the news, none of it good. My friends all say cheer up, if only I could. Everybody got trouble, I shouldn't complain. But nothing's going to ever stop this rain. I'm watching more TV and all of it bad. What passes for laughs just make me sad. Maybe I think too much, I should refrain. But nothing's going to ever stop this rain. Oh, nothing's going to ever stop this rain. Nothing's going to ever be the same. Nothing's going to ever stop this rain. Nothing's gonna ever be the same. Oh, nothing's gonna ever stop this rain. Nothing's gonna ever be the same. Nothing's gonna ever stop this rain. Nothing's gonna ever be the same. Do I go one more round in spite of it all, or throw in the towel, just take the fall? It's a bad situation, and I cannot remain. Yeah, nothing's going to ever stop this rain. Nothing's going to ever stop Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was a song I wrote in a particularly joyous moment. I was looking at that picture in the newspaper of Kim Jong, you know, the present leader of North Korea. He looks like such a bozo, you know. He's got those flyaway polyester collars and those leisure suits and those aviation glasses. You know, you just think, how could such a bonehead become the president of a country, you know? I wouldn't buy lawn furniture from the guy, and here he's, you know, how could that happen? But then I realized, well, his father was actually in charge of the country, and then when his father passed on, the powers that be just kind of installed the son. Of course, something like that couldn't happen here, you know. It was an interesting thing to think about. I have a lot of time to think because I do TV as well as playing music. I sometimes pretend to act. Yes, I'm not an actor, but I play one on TV. If you ever, I was on Star Trek Deep Space Nine for 5.5 seasons. If you ever saw a Klingon singing, you were looking at me. Had the only real goatee in space, you know what I mean? I was actually, I met a director at a party in Hollywood, and she said that she was the director for Star Trek, and I said, wow, I am absolutely crazed for Star Trek. I've seen them all, every single, I love them. I said, you know, who do I have to kill to get on that show? You know, I mean, I didn't say kill, you know, it was Hollywood, but she said, well, I think we can work something out. And the very next day, Paramount called up and said, James, when can you come in for a fitting? And I said, well, to tell you the truth, so far as I know, I have the rest of my life off. I can come in right now, which I did. And I became a Bajoran security guard working for Odo, who was played by Rene Aubergenois, wonderful actor, great fellow. And so I worked with him for about 5 years and played the Bajoran, but I also got to play all these other aliens. I was a Romulan, actually a very attractive Romulan. I've got that down. Much more so than a human. I mean, if I'd been born in Romulan, I'd be happening, you know? And I was a Vulcan like Mr. Spock, and I was a Cardassian with that ropey neck, and you know, I was everything. I had a grand time. I loved everything about Star Trek except perhaps the underwear. Yeah, it seems that I can do this. It seems that Gene Roddenberry, the creator of the series, didn't want there to be any unsightly bulges in space. So he devised these industrial strength pantyhose for men that went from your knees to your midriff, and it was made of this kind of elastic that you can't believe it. I mean, it would cut off the circulation to your body, you know, just so tight. But it would give you that harmless Ken doll look. You know what I mean? So that was the only bad part about Star Trek, was having to put yourself into these girdles for men. You know, they were just really a miserable contraption and so uncomfortable. And needless to say, if you had to use the facility, it was awkward. You know, because for those of you who wear underwear, men, I mean, you're aware that there's a vertical access in the underwear that allows us, you see. Well, for some reason, for some perverse reason, they elected to make a horizontal access in these industrial strength pantyhose we had to wear. So it was sort of awkward. You had to grab this underwear and go, you know, and you'd hold it apart like that, and this kind of dynamic tension that made Vic Tanny famous, you know. And then with these two fingers, you would reach in to go your own underwear, which goes the other way. So it's, you know, and then with the fingers that were left, you tried to find yourself. But you couldn't. Not for days. You just were kind of squeezed out of existence there, you know? It was really uncomfortable and sad and tragic. I did it for 5.5 years, but I wasn't happy. And you know what? While we're on this subject, remember how William Shatner, who played James T. Kirk, captain of the first Enterprise, James T. Kirk always got the girl, remember? Well, there's a reason for that. I mean, no matter what dimension, no matter what planet, no matter what time frame, the girl went for Kirk. It's because he didn't wear that underwear. There was only him, Wild Willie Shatner, the only one in space. That was the secret of his success. Just check out the show, you'll see. I probably ruined Star Trek for you, but hey, show business is ugly. Okay, so I'll do this tune inspired by Los Angeles for my, oh yeah, I will. I'll use everything. I'll use everything. Oh yeah. Okay, this is a tune inspired by the traffic in Los Angeles. I was caught in a traffic jam. I was caught in one today, actually, for an hour. It took me an hour to get from Carmel to here. It's like being in Los Angeles, where we just park on the freeways and curse. That's all we do. And if it rains, people lose their minds. It's like, because they don't expect weather in Los Angeles. You know, water from the sky, and it's free. You know, they can't believe it. So anyhow, in this traffic jam, I wrote this tune called Fairweather Town about Los Angeles. Wrote a verse about the music business. Wrote a verse about the weather. Then I was stymied until O.J. You may recall O.J. until he was acquitted. I remember being quite stunned by the verdict because I felt the plethora of evidence was overwhelming. I mean, to me, come on, the blood, the hair, the shoes, the hat. I mean, come on, kids. Hitler didn't leave as many clues. You know, I was pretty sure he did it, but turns out I was wrong. So I had my third verse, and this is called Fairweather Town. Freeway is anything but free tonight. Traffic is backed up for miles. Any place else, this would simply be rain. But in LA, it's just not their style. It's a total disaster, and you hear it on the news while this wind-up city runs down. When you consider business as usual, LA's a fair-weather town. LA's a fair-weather town. What have you done lately? Can I put you on hold? This is for your ears alone. Love what you're doing, wish I could help. Leave me your fax and your phone. I'll call you tomorrow, your check's in the mail. It's that wind-up city run around. When you consider business as usual, LA's a fair-weather town. LA's a fair-weather town. Fair-weather friends come again when the sun shines down. Fair-weather friends, in the end, there'll be no one around. You leave your name and address at the scene of the crime. The DA will go no further. American justice down on its knees. In LA, you get away with murder. It's the law of the jungle, and the fever runs high while this wind-up city runs down. When you consider business as usual, fair weather town. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll do a little ballad to take us out of here. There's a song called Somewhere in Between. Wrote up in Alaska years ago. I was on tour with a wonderful woman named Nicolette Larson. She's missed. All you really had to do was talk to me. All you had to do was let me know that you thought we had a chance of making it. I will never let you go. But we turned our heads and left it all unsaid and let it slip away. Some people run from love and hide their hearts, and they never know the doom. Some people open up and welcome love, but for you and me, maybe it's somewhere in between. In between the time, hello, just fell in place, and the helpless way we said goodbye. Wasn't there a moment we were face to face, heart to heart, eye to eye? But we turned our heads and left it all unsaid and let it slip away.